Good morning. I'm Mad Zack. Crazy old Mad Zack. Crazy like a fox. Mad son, just mad. And I'm retired from the workforce. I was hit by semi. Yes. Now I'm impotent. What they call impotent. Powerless. That means powerless. Not just lip dick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kill a beast. Yes, I am, with the help of America. And maybe some people from the rest of the world. I've always been told about the Dutch mob. Yes, the ones in charge of, the ones responsible for slavery in America. The tobacco industry all goes back to the Dutch. Yeah, so you racists out there, here's your pass. Here's your free card. Let's do a little investigation. Together. I love doing stuff together. Gardening is fun when you do it together or completely alone. So what we have here is my latest thing today is I'm hot on the trail of, yes, I own content. I'm hot on the trail of the Nielsen ratings group. Yeah, the people who for 50 years have been asking you your dirty secrets. Yeah, where you hide your money. Yes, some people don't get my colloquialism. Well, that's tough shit. Yes, they're obstinate. The smart people are actually listening. I know there's a couple out there. Some are on my crew. I'm looking for the rest of them. I'm looking for the other 5 smart people. Yeah, and I'll tell you what I did. Old Mad Zack grew a scrotum. Yeah, right around Christmas time. Yeah, right around Christmas time, my voice cracked. Yeah, my voice cracked right around Christmas. And then for Valentine's Day, I grew a spine. Unbelievable. Yes, thank you, Mother. So, the Nielsen's Media Group, Nielsen Ratings Media Study, right here, P.O. Box 91207, Allentown, Pennsylvania, zip code 18109 1207. There, that's where they want you to send your secrets. They want you, they're targeting kids, okay? They're targeting children in the letter. They're speaking directly to children. I want a class action suit filed against them, and I want my name at the very top of the whole list of people pissed off. I'm initiating this beast into the battle. I'm going to poke it until it comes for me. I want you to swing on me. I want you to hit me with your car. I want you to kick my door in and punch me. I want a legitimate reason to kill you so I can get my media coverage and sell my book to help people. So we're going to do an investigation together about this Nielsen Media Group. I asked Alexa yesterday. We're going to get into Alexa later in another program. I asked Alexa, I says, who owns Nielsen Ratings? Who owns that company? And she told me that in 1999, the company was purchased by a company called VNU. Well, I have that right here, VNU NV company history. The Netherlands, Dutch. The Netherlands Publishing Company has built an international position in consumer and business publications, marketing resources, telephone directories, and regional newspapers, okay? They're the whore for corporations. They're the whore giving blowjobs for corporations. Oh, yes, I'm going to be mean and nasty. I want my confrontation. So, let's read a little further. VNU publishes more than 150 consumer magazine titles in the Netherlands, where the company leads this market with 60% share. Okay. Now, I went further and I said, hey, Alexa, who owns VNU? Well, Alexa didn't like that question, so I had to say, who owns VNU that purchased Nielsen back in 1999? Alexa came back with a beautiful, tasty little morsel. Alexa said, VNU is VNU is owned by the Dutch Publishing Company. So I said to Alexa, I says, hey, Alexa, come on up for air for a minute. Yeah. I says, who owns the Dutch Publishing Company? Alexa said the Dutch Publishing Company has no owner. So I'm out on a trail. Yes, I've been talking to police chiefs. I've been talking to investigators. I've been talking to detectives. And I got a special friend who's down in Tennessee. I have a special friend I'm going to call who's a private investigator. Yeah, she's a real dick. Yes, she is. She's got a gun and a badge. So, we're going to file a class action suit in the name of all Americans, all American children in the future, being targeted, pigeonholed to find out what they like on TV so they can continue to be brainwashed. So what we have is a nation that's being brainwashed by the commercialization tactics of the corporations pushing their products. Okay? Some products are actually beneficial. Some products are not. Now, I believe, my opinion is that soap operas brainwashed all the women, or a good portion of them. Women, as far as corporate America and their sales tactics go, women, me having privy to this information, women are always the target, the number one target, typically. Not stereotypically, typically. Fact. Facebook, bring it on. You want to beat me down with your copyright infringements and shit over my own content that somebody else has a copyright infringement case from me against them. And you're not upholding me? You're not supporting me in that? You're continuing to beat me down on my content that I own? You're on my list too, Mark Zuckerberg. You think you lost money just a minute ago. Wait till I get my grubby little carpenter hands on you. My hick wet the bed hands on you from, oh yeah, my all used to be alcoholic hands. Oh, I can't wait to have my day with all of you, any of you, just one of you. I'm dying for one of you to attack me. I can't wait for my day to draw. Yeah, more, oh yes, it's gonna be fun. So, we have a big mystery here, Scooby-Doo fans. Yes, we do have a big mystery to unravel. This Dutch publishing company, I wonder how deep in bed they are with big tobacco. Yeah, which goes back to the haters in America, the racists that always want to live in this racism idea that, well, guys that look like me, I guess I'm white, I've been told, I don't know. I don't constantly remind myself that I'm white. Yeah, it's not my thing. Yeah, us white guys. Matter of fact, I don't have a friend that ever says anything like that. I'm waiting for my day with you, too. Yeah, we're gonna find out who the bitch is in the prison cell. Yes, we are. Everybody already knows. All the smart people do. Yeah, the ones that use the full alphabet. Yeah, so we're hot on a trail, the Dutch publishing company. Yes, we are. Not owned by anybody. That's interesting. Dutch Publishers stands out for its quality and creative concepts. Let's go on further with this VNU history. The address for the VNU is Ceylon. Well, I'm going to give you a screenshot here. Let me give you a screenshot. Okay, there's your screenshot. Right there. Address, telephone number. Let's keep digging, kids. Yeah, so I'm talking to the smart kids that like to sit up front in class. And all the class clowns who think they're smart. We're on a big deal. Our country's about to go under. Everybody's giving it away. I can't wait to find out what we traded away when we signed all those stimulus checks, put the money in our banks, and the dope man's house. Yeah, and rims on our car. No other nonsense. What rights did we lose when we took that money from the government? You know, whenever anybody gives you anything, there's nothing that's ever free. Okay? Nothing's ever free. And some famous people back when they established our country said, when you make a bill and you put so many words in it to where the people can't read it and you put it into words that people can't understand, it's fraud. And when they pass a bill in Congress and make it into law that's 5,002 pages, you know nobody read it. They read the first 3 pages and the last 3 pages, and everybody else who wanted a piece of that action bitched about something, said, we want something for us or we're not going to vote yes on your bill. It's a big reach around fest. Everybody better get hip. You know, the problem I have is I'm trying to do this on social media. On Facebook, Facebook's my outlet, which really makes me look dumb. Yes, it does. And shows how desperate I am. Let's see, the Netherlands Publishing Group, VNU NB, has built an international position as consumer and business publications, marketing resources, telephone directories, regional newspapers. You want to know who the spies are? They're right there in your face, okay? These people are gleaners of information to find out all your secrets. In my world in America, when I become president, my diction is my edicts, I'm going to be spouting off my rhetoric. Nobody should know. You never told anybody who you voted for. It's none of your business, none of my business if you're a Republican or if you're Democrat or what church you go to, what your favorite color is, what your favorite food. That's the business of you and your personal close friends. Whoever helps you in the garden of life, toil. Toil the soil, hoe the rows. Those are your friends. Those are your family. Anybody in your life that's not helping you in your proverbial garden of life, get rid of them completely. They're taken away from you. They're robbing you of your time, preventing you from doing your own thing. Sometimes people start a conversation with you just to interrupt what you're doing. Okay, they're not really interested in what you're doing. They're trying to distract you, to stop you, to get you to do something else. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Too bad you're not American or highly influential. Hopefully you got some money to back me. Now, VNU publishes more than 150 consumer titles in the Netherlands, where the company leads the market with 60% share, and in Belgium, the United Kingdom, France, Hungary, Czech Republic. See, my problem is there could be more than one company going under the name Dutch Publishers or Dutch Publishing Company. No, but this is it, VNU. Circulation in 850,000, give 18% of the Dutch regional newspaper market. See, it's all media, and it's the VNU stems in over, it ties in with the newspaper publisher, the broadcasters, TV stations, and all that. 1984 is here. Everybody needs to wake up. You got a brain in your head. Before they get rid of this book, find it and read it. Almost everything in here has come true. Yes, it is a fiction book, but it's very real. See what else I can find out that's tasty. Here it says, a rising portion of the VNU organization is held by the company's telephone directory division, boosted by the 1998 acquisition of the ITT World Directories. The newly renamed VNU World Directories division publishes telephone directories and offers related products and services. The Netherlands, Belgium, Ireland, Portugal, Puerto Rico, South Africa, under such well-known brand names as Gooden Gids, the Golden Pages, the Pages of D'Or. The company's directories are focused particularly on the business-to-business market. The acquisition of the ITT World Directories cost VNU more than US $2 billion. Where's my detectives at? Where's the men in black? I want my conversation. You know, and when you become an activist, okay, when you become an activist, there's a list of things that you can do to get attention, to create the controversy you need to get the attention to the argument you're trying to get highlighted. You can do it through common conversation, or you can go all the way down the list. The very last thing is to tie yourself to some great big building, you know, with your book over there somewhere out of the disaster area, with a couple balloons on it, you know, and then blow a building up. Yeah, that's the list. Timothy McVeigh did it down in Oklahoma. Yeah, of course, nobody cared about what he had to say. Yeah, because once you get down to blowing a building up, nobody wants to listen, because then you find out when you actually have to do that, then that's the point when you should realize the whole world's obstinate and you should go jump on a ship somewhere and live a nice life away from all the idiots. America's become home of the idiots, and the rest of the world is watching us like a frickin' sitcom. Women around the world loathe American men. Yes, they do. I talk to women around the world all the time because I have a penis. Yeah. And despite my perfection, women aren't afraid of me, and I talk to them all the time. They send me naughty pictures. So I'm on to a very, very interesting investigation. Let's see. Let's ask the computer another question. How does the ownership of Nielsen Media Survey connect to the Dutch Publishing Company? See, talking to the computer, talking to Alexa is just like talking to bureaucrats. You've got to ask a question 1,000 different ways. Same way the police interrogate you. They'll ask you the same question 1,000 different ways to get their answer. Here we go, Nielsen. Let's start from Nielsen's. Let's see where this takes us. Nielsen's is founded and incorporated in Chicago, 1923, celebrating 95 years of innovation. So, engineer Arthur C. Nielsen borrows $45,000, so we have to start at the beginning to do an investigation. And here's where it starts. Engineer Arthur C. Nielsen borrows $45,000 to start a business that will test the quality of conveyor belts, turbine generators. So it ties in with industrial America. First market research and performance surveys produced in 1923. 1924, capital increased from $45,000 to $55,000. 1927, first industrial market survey produced. 1929, first consumer market survey produced. So the birth of tapping into your brain and picking your locks on your secret box started in 1929. And everybody loves the Nielsen ratings. Oh, television ratings. Oh, we're getting great ratings. Yeah. So, Nielsen Certified Performance Surveys number GG50XTJ. Subject, 1930s. 1931, capital increased from $55,000 to $93,333. Nielsen launches an index to measure drug and retail store sales. Back when I still sold dope at the drugstore. Yeah, and we got all the name brands. I see Lipton. This is Nielsen.com, sites Nielsen.com, timelines, our history. This is all on the computer. I love computers. Lipton's, I see Lipton's and Kellogg's, a Lifebuoy bath, Nestle's. Well, let's see. During the Depression, Nielsen shifts to measuring consumer sales. See, keep in mind, this is back when everybody was making a big deal about drinking too. So everybody's more concerned about drinking. Remember the Roaring '20s and Prohibition and all that stuff? So everybody was distracted with the Prohibition thing while they initiated the beginning of mind control. Yeah, 1934, company debuts the department store and food indexes. Also in 1934, Nielsen begins measuring food and department store sales. Now, when it comes to food, they put the preservatives in there because when a farmer, let's say the old lady made soup. Well, she made so many bowls of soup, but a couple bowls didn't sell, and she ended up losing money she had into the soup. So what she did was, she says, hey, can I make my soup last a little longer? So they came up with a chemical to put in it that gives you stomach cancer. EDTA is one of the chemicals they use in everything, even beer. EDTA, look that word up. It's a word about this long. It's poisonous. Yes. Client service team is formed to help clients maximize effectiveness of Nielsen data. Food store, here's they're looking at a thing. Food stores, sales of canned dog food by brands, so they're analyzing dog food back then. 1935, Arthur C. Nielsen invents market share concept when auditors survey store shelves to determine sales patterns. Yes. 1936, Nielsen launches its General Store Index. Also in 1936, Nielsen acquires rights to Audiometer, a device that attached to a radio to record when it was on and what station it was tuned to. Yes, and keep in mind, anything electrical you plug into the wall, a game, a TV, if you look on the back of things, it says must comply to FCC standards, must comply to FCC regulations, must accept interference. That means at any time they could turn a basic item into a listening device. These aren't harebrained freaking out-of-the-wall things. This is very real. Oh, I'm sorry, the game might be on. I might be interrupting that. Okay, 1936, company begins developing its radio index. 1938, the liquor index launches. Okay? 1939, Nielsen opens office in the UK. Oh my goodness. Yeah, when they realized it wasn't safe to be a spy, in the fucking company, in the country you're spying on. 1939, Nielsen opens office in the UK, the company's first international office. And now, we're not beating on Nielsen. He may have been genuinely concerned, and it might have been, free of any ill thoughts or motives. See, it's the entities that caught on to what he was doing that harnessed his horsepower. Yeah, he was a horse, and everybody else was trying to figure out how to get control or get something out of him. 1941, company doubles the size of the U.S. headquarters building due to continued growth. 1942, the Nielsen Radio Index is launched in the U.S. 1944, Nielsen opens office in Canada. 1946, first Nielsen mailable audiometer is presented to radio industry. So it's a mechanical apparatus about the size of a small toaster. And he's pointing a stick at it. This is all on the internet. 1947, the Consumer Index debuts. 1948, Nielsen introduces the Pharmaceutical Index. So they started off with dog food and cereal, and they went to drugs and alcohol. Alcohol and now drugs. Okay, 1948, Nielsen opens office in Australia. 1948 also, Art Nielsen Jr. champions Nielsen's investment in Univac 1, UNIVAC 1, the first commercial computer to attract widespread public attention. Okay, the computer was invented. That's why the computer was invented. Consumer manipulation. Yeah, computers aren't your friend. You're going to find out. The internet and social media are going to be part of the fall of our country and maybe the world. China's coming. 1950, the Nielsen Television Index started in U.S. using a device based on the audiometer. National TV Nielsen ratings. Oh, what a great thing. 1950, Nielsen launches TV audience measurement in the U.S. Yeah, and there's a young couple, 2 women, and 2 children. Yeah, they both look like they're all girls, and the dog. The focus has always been on women, because women were at home watching TV while the men were in industrialized America working jobs. Okay? Give up the frontier, give up your self-sufficiency, come and take a job with us, and we'll provide you security and reward you with benefits. Yeah, the elusive benefits. Everybody who's anybody takes a job because of the benefits. Especially if they have kids. And companies prefer to hire a person in a family as someone with something to lose. It's pain. 1952, Nielsen office opens in the Netherlands. 1953, company increases the size of the U.S. headquarters building by 60%. Also 1953, Nielsen office opens in New Zealand and Belgium, spreading like a plague. Good morning, Mr. Names in Arabic. 1954, Nielsen Station Index Service formed to provide local market TV audience measurement in the U.S. Also 1954, Nielsen office opens in Germany. And again, last thing in 1948 and 54 was the Nielsen Station Index Service expands to the top 30 U.S. markets. 1955, Nielsen creates the designated market area concept in the U.S., establishing parameters for a specific television market. And the 55 Ford was awesome. 1955, Nielsen opens office in Ireland. Also 1955, Nielsen establishes services in a European Central Operations Facility in Switzerland. 1956, company opens an office in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, Nielsen's first branch operations facility in the U.S. Yeah, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. So that place is suspect. And then 1957, 57 Chevy. My grandpa had a 57 Chevy when it was brand new. He didn't like it. He took it back. Arthur Nielsen Jr. becomes company president. 1957, again, Nielsen establishes a coupon clearinghouse in the U.S., streamlining couponing for manufacturers and retailers. Is anybody listening? I know my people probably aren't up yet, and that's okay, but time is of the essence, and I have lots to do, so I can't wait for everybody's convenience. I have to do what's convenient for me, and all my followers and my believers will understand that. I shouldn't have to explain myself, which I do not like to, unless it's something important. Yeah, I like to talk to people who listen the first time. Let's see. 1957, Nielsen offices open in Sweden. 1958, Nielsen Company stock made available to the U.S. public. So now the public has been sold the idea of supporting it. Yes. Yeah. Company establishes in 1959, Nielsen Company establishes a Montreal branch to provide better service to Canadian clients. I want to get a hold of somebody in Canada. I think I have allies there. Also in 1959, Nielsen office opens in France. 1960, Nielsen office opens in Japan. 61, Nielsen office opens in Luxembourg and Austria. 61 also, Nielsen launches new product service to evaluate the sales of new customer products as manufacturers broaden product lines. 62, Nielsen measures that more than 29 million homes tuned in to watch NASA blast astronaut John Glenn into space. So they found out everybody's interested in the space program, and that program, when they do the space stuff, is a great time to bombard you with their rhetoric. Yes, I have much to say. 1962, company opens new Canadian office building in Toronto. 1963, Nielsen office opens in Italy. 63 again, Art C. Nielsen Sr., chairman and founder, receives Parlin Memorial Award, which honors people who have made outstanding contributions to the field of marketing research. 63, measurement of sales at mass merchandisers debuts. They have back in 90, and they're showing a complete TV report, Memphis area Nielsen Station Index from December, January 1958. They're also showing the monthly TV report for 4 weeks between December 8th and January 11th, targeting you around Christmas time and New Year's in the Memphis area. Yeah, they must have thought Memphis people were suckers. Memphis, I'm your friend. 1965, the Nielsen Station Index Service introduces the Viewers in Profile Report, VIP, which stations use to sell TV time to advertisers in the U.S. 1970, the year you should have killed me. Yes, Mom. Oh, Mom never did like me because she saw me coming. I'm the new king. 1970, Los Angeles becomes the second Nielsen Station Index metered market. And they're showing a device that they created. Let me show you the device. They're showing us a device they created. Nielsen introduces the Storage Instantaneous Odometer, capable of storing TV set usage data and forwarding data overnight via phone line. Yes, Nielsen is a spy. Yes, the Nielsen ratings is a spy. People, wake up. Oh, I'm going to be woke. I'm going to be woke. Motherfucker, I'm going to be woke. I'm woke. No, you're not woke. Wake the hell up. 1973, company begins offering national daily TV ratings in the U.S. I'm missing something here. Let's go back to 1970. In 1970, they invented the barcode. Okay? The first thing this is all facts. The first thing they scanned when they invented the barcode, when they tested it out on TV, first thing they scanned in front of the public eye was a pack of Wrigley double mint gum. Yes. And 1970 is the year when they introduced high fructose corn syrup into the food market. And as they used it, diabetes paralleled with the increase in use of high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup was invented and started off, they used it to give to bees. When they took the honey from the bee and sold the honey, they stole the honey from the bee that the bee needed to live all winter, because the bee flaps its wings all winter long, alive, awake. They don't go dormant. They flap their wings all winter long, staying high on honey. Well, they decided to start giving them the high fructose corn syrup in place of it. So give a substitute food, which they found out made them work harder and made them addicted to keep coming back to that spot all the time. It was more to do with it than just the queen being there. Okay, this high fructose corn syrup is a huge, huge beast. It's very addictive. It's the crack cocaine, the heroin of the food industry. Anybody out there that I have to beg to understand that should go put a bullet in their own head, because they're useless. I'm not going to beg you to become educated. I'm looking for people who are teachable. Everybody else could drop dead. Yeah, in my opinion. Okay, 1973. Company begins offering national daily TV ratings in the U.S. So now, they've been doing it for 50 years, okay? 23 to 73, 50 years. Now TV is on almost every household in the 70s. We're going to get to that. Company begins offering national daily TV ratings, and here's a picture of a happy family. Oh, there they are, happy with the remote in their hand. Look, it doesn't even have a cord on it. And there's one of them idiot boxes on top of the big idiot box. Brian Cadrian. Glad to see you, Brian. Mad Zack is changing the future. Yes, in fact, I am. I'm at war. Yeah. A little guy like me, piddly, 140 pounds. Just 140 pounds of C4, that's all. C4 nitroglycerin and a vibrator with a short in it. I'm going to make a huge detonation in this country. 1973, Nielsen moves its headquarters to Nielsen Plaza in Northbrook, Illinois. There's a picture of them with a couple of gold shovels, going to dig the first hole. 1976, America's bicentennial. Chicago becomes a metered local TV market. Metered local TV market. And I'm claiming nationwide mental health status. Nationwide mental health crisis. Chicago is a poster child for it. Right there. Chicago becomes a metered local TV market. Analyze what's happened in Chicago between today and 1976. I'm not looking for a fight. I'm doing my job as a responsible constituent. Yeah, 1977, Nielsen implements automated measurement of TV lineups, electronically tracking network feeds to local affiliates. Wow! Here's a picture of let's say a person of color in the picture. Look up. See? Dark-skinned boy and a light-skinned boy together. I don't see any racism insinuation there. Oh, well, ain't no Chinese kid in the picture. Goddamn racist. Racist, racist. You can take your racism career and see what kind of benefits you get out of it in 10 years. Yeah. Everybody's sue happy. I want you to sue me. Dare ya. 1977, Nielsen pioneers scanning of retail store universal product code, UPC code. Yeah, Nielsen pioneers scanning of retail store universal product code, the UPC code. That's misinformation right there in 77 because they did it in 1970. Unless they didn't start using it out in public until 77. I'm going to have to research that little tidbit. It's immaterial at the moment. 1979, company introduces ScanTrack, giving clients the ability to track specific market trends, produce custom reports, and develop better marketing and distribution plans. 1980s. Let's get into the 80s. Oh, this is going to be fun. The music in the background you're hearing is my album, The Ambient Blues. It's available on iTunes, Amazon, the Bandana Brothers Ambient Blues album. If you would like a copy, I suggest you go get one. You can get a physical copy. You can get a digital copy. And you can get a copy of my book, Escaping the Despondent Sea. It's available on Amazon Kindle Unlimited. I'm asking $6.99 for it. I get a piddly $4 and change out of it. It's not about the money. The money goes right back into what I'm doing. I'm not trying to get rich. I'm trying to do the right thing. And my little shiny thing in life is the farm. I need to buy back my family's farm so I can put my family back together. But Nielsen sent out a survey to children today to steal the inheritance I leave behind, the wealth I leave behind to give to my children. Nielsen's put a survey out to figure out how to take it. Oh, I'm pissed. 1980, Nielsen launches ScanTrack service in the United States. Also 1980, company debuts Nielsen Home Video Index to measure viewing of cable, VCRs, and other new technologies. Goes back to that FCC thing. Where's the smart kids? 82, the company's new piggyback home unit allows Nielsen to use household phone lines for data transmission. That's right, they were using your phone and you didn't know it. They should have split the phone bill with you. If they were using your phone service to survey you, your phone should have been free. Yeah, you have a legal lawsuit right there. I am giving you pearls. Pearls. 1983, the final episode of MASH earned 60.2 Nielsen ratings, the record for the highest rated telecast in the U.S. to date, and still running. Everybody can watch MASH. MASH is on every day. The MASH channel, the Alan Alda Show. Yeah, some people call it the Alan Alda Show because he's like one of the main characters. He's a bit of a stage hog. I love him. 1984, the Dun and Bradstreet Corporation acquires Nielsen. Dun and Bradstreet. I'm going to have to research them and see what kind of fucking dirt they got on their hands. Dun and Bradstreet. I am out for blood, and before I die, I will see it. Yeah, I'm going to be in the history books. Yeah, for something short of blowing up a building. And if it happens to come to that, I'll be doing that from my deathbed. Yeah, and it's going to be several of them. 1985, company forms Nielsen Syndication Service to provide TV audience measurements for growing syndication business. That's right. 1985, Nielsen meters TV viewing in more than 5,500 U.S. homes and generates approximately $100 million in revenue. Okay? If you were part of a study, you were part of a study the whole time. You're part of a survey the whole time without your, involuntarily. There's a lawsuit there. Every American with a television and a phone can sue the fuck out of this Dutch publishing company that has no owner. Oh, I'm fucking on fire. Yeah. 1985. Oh, man. That's the year I dropped out of school. Believe it or not, I'm a high school dropout. 1987, company launches the People Meter in the U.S. to produce national TV ratings with daily demographic data. 1988, Nielsen Home Video Index continues to add channels as cable reaches 54% of U.S. TV households. Keep in mind, there's 4 or 5 TVs in every house. Yeah. What do you do when you come home from work? You send the kids out of the house with a big scolding, and you sit down because you had a hard day. And you watch the news. Then you watch the ball game. Or you watch the ball game, and you listen to your old lady talk about what she watched on the news. 1988, year I graduated high school, class of 88. Company launches cash slip methodology to measure shopper activity in discount supermarkets. Yeah, see, I dropped out in 88, but I went back to night school where I aced government, and they made a great big fat speech about me at the graduation ceremony and said, if you're a journalist and you need an abstract opinion, I'm the guy to find. Littlest dog in the fight, and I got the biggest fight for you. I'm begging you to come and see me. Begging you. I want to see your violence. I want you to attack me. I'm going to get my media coverage. Yes, I am. Let's see. Yeah. Company launches cash slip methodology to measure shopper activity in discount supermarkets. 1988. Nielsen introduces handheld scanners so that household members can record UPC-coded purchases. Also 1988, Nielsen acquires Logistics Data Systems. There's another name in the fight to get their ass beat and sued, whose software helps profitability manage shelf space and display areas. Let's get into the 90s. Yeah. 1991, Nielsen Consumer Panel expands to 40,000 U.S. homes. Imagine nice, fat, luxurious lifestyles and the nice boats and all these things, the braces for their children's teeth, you know, good glasses, decent clothes, good books, good schools. Imagine all the nice lifestyles that these people got to afford themselves from gleaning intelligence from people that they didn't think had any intelligence. So they kept picking their brain, asking them what they liked best. What do you like? So I could figure out how to sell it to you. Yeah, you're using dope. You're being sold dope. You're being given dope by the dope man, so you come back and get more. You got to put it in the right perspective, and I'm giving perspective away for free because I'm awake. Yeah, you better kill me because I'm not going out with anything less than being killed. 1991, Consumer Panel expands to 40,000 U.S. homes. 1991, World Single Source Panel established in Germany. 1992, company offers national and local Hispanic services in the U.S. and Los Angeles as the first local Hispanic market. Yeah, remember when we had the trouble with them bringing all the Mexican people in from the border, for instance, for cheap labor? Yeah, setting up the Latino communities, the Hispanic communities. They're figuring out a way to pick their brains too so they can take their money back. Yeah, you see, if I have a little property and I need to build a town, I hire, like the Mexican people or Hispanic people, Latinos, I hire them to build the houses. First I have them, build a store while they set up camp. And then I pay them. And then I sell them everything they need, including the wood to build their own house. So the $10 an hour I paid them really ends up only being $1 or $2 an hour. So they basically built my town for free. And I got a bunch of suckers sucking at the proverbial tit that I created to suck on. Oh, you people better wake up. 1992, Nielsen Workstation delivers Nielsen data to the personal computer. Yeah, remember the early 90s when they wanted to put a computer in everybody's home? 1992, the Nielsen Workstation wins second place at the Information Industry Association's Product Achievement Awards. 1993, Nielsen becomes the first to offer scanning-based information from warehouse clubs to the U.S. Remember Sears and Warbuck? They sent a catalog, and you ordered what you needed out of Sears and Warbuck catalog. Or Montgomery Wards. Back in the old days. 94, ScanTrack launches in Western Europe. 94, Nielsen acquires Survey Research Group, SRG, the market researcher leader in Asia. Nielsen establishes joint venture with Ammer World Research in Eastern Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East, expanding global footprint to 76 countries. You see, this is a beast right here. Yeah. 1994, again, Nielsen announces the U.S. Hispanic Consumer Panel. Yeah. 1995, Nielsen now operates household panels in 15 countries, having added more than 20,000 households in Canada, South Africa, and France. 1995 again, Nielsen asserts its dominance in the marketing information industry by successfully winning back 26 consumer packaged goods clients. Oh, I wish I was at some of these private meetings they had. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall. I'm a spy in the House of Love. Yes, I am. 1996, Dun and Bradstreet splits Nielsen into two separate companies, one responsible for TV ratings and one responsible for consumer shopping trends and box office data in the U.S. 99, Dutch publishing company VNU acquires Nielsen's watch business. 1999, Dutch publishing company VNU acquires Nielsen's watch business. 2000s, Nielsen launches weekly internet usage and advertising service as nearly 100 million Americans are going online in 2000. And that's just the registered IP address. That's not necessarily everybody in the home using the computer. Take that into account. 2000, again, launch of national census service that covers 15,000 stores in the UK. 2002, launch of European Operations Facility. 2003, Nielsen doubles its national TV sample from 5,000 to 10,000 U.S. households. 2003, Nielsen Global Technology and Information Center opens in Florida. Oh, here's the new gadget. Let's see it. There's a new gadget in 2003. Yeah. Oh, man. Everybody thought it was so cool, huh? Yeah. 2005. In the U.S., Nielsen introduces the active/passive meter to capture viewer information in digital and analog viewing environments. Every single American who was watching TV all those years is entitled to compensation. 2005, Nielsen U.S. syndicated television audience reports include time-shifted viewing for the first time. Oh, here's a juicy one. 2006, David L. Calhoun, Calhoun, becomes CEO of Nielsen. Oh, I'd love to see what he has in his portfolio. 2008, Nielsen develops reports that detail media usage across screens, television, internet, and mobile devices to meter broadcasters' expanding needs. 2010. 2011, online campaign ratings launches, setting a new standard in online ad measurement. Oh, there's a lovely picture of these guys. Oh, they're so happy. We are so happy. We have so much money and stuff. Oh, yeah. Cocksuckers. Oh, man, Zack is really, really at war here. I need America to wake up. Nielsen issues initial public offering and lists as a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange. 2012, Nielsen becomes the first official market researcher for the Olympic Games. 2013, Nielsen acquires Arbitron, Arbitron, and launches Nielsen Audio. 2013, Nielsen is selected for the Standard & Poor's 500 Index. Standard & Poor's. Yeah. 2014, Mitch Barnes becomes Nielsen's CEO. Let's see Mitch Barnes and his greasy little face. There he is. Oh, man. I could see my nuts resting right on his chin. Oh, man. Yeah. 2015, Nielsen named the Diversity Inc. top 50 companies for diversity for the second consecutive year. Also 2015, Nielsen acquires Exalate, setting the stage for the development of the Nielsen Marketing Cloud. Exalate, lowercase e, capital X, lowercase e, L-A-T-E. 2015 again, digital NTV ratings launches. So 2015 they went digital. Yeah, remember when they got rid of analog TV? Yeah, and they brought the smart TVs in. And Alexa's always listening. Yeah. How do you know? You remember when you get on the phone and you looked up chickens or something? Or no, you weren't even on the phone. You had your phone in your pocket and you were talking about chickens to your body. And then boom, all of a sudden ads started coming up on your social media for chicken coops and stuff. Think about that. I'm sorry, Janet Jackson's tip might pop out in a second. Go ahead, watch the game. I want you to watch the game. You better go get somewhere else. Daddy's pissed off right now. 2017. I'm giving lots of names. I hope you're writing this down or saving this video. I am going to be famous. Not because I want to be. 2017, Nielsen acquires Gracenote, Gracenote, the industry's premier provider of media and entertainment metadata. If you don't know what metadata is, you better look it up. M-E-T-A-D-A-T-A. Metadata is very important if you're an indie artist. Yes, Zack is an indie artist supporter. I went to college specifically for publishing, especially, and massage. I'm a very good lover. Yeah. 2017. Nielsen named the Diversity Inc. Top 50 Companies for Diversity for the fourth consecutive year. 2017 again, Nielsen unveils the Nielsen Connected System, the FMCG industry's first truly open, cloud-based, and highly scalable technology platform. 2017, Nielsen offers Nielsen subscription. Now, how can they keep using the name Nielsen when they sold it? See, they're using Nielsen's name, hiding behind a faceless organization. They're using Nielsen's face to hide behind. Yeah, welcome to Piercing the Corporate Veil 101. Yeah, if you don't know what piercing the corporate veil is, you better look it up because it could get me killed. I'm risking my life sharing this information and doing this investigation. That's very real. 2017 again, Nielsen offers Nielsen Subscription Video on Demand, SVOD, content ratings, a syndicated solution to independently measure subscription-based streaming content. 2017, Nielsen selected as an index component of the Dow Jones Sustainability North America Index, which tracks the financial performance of leading sustainability-driven companies worldwide. Again, 2017, Forbes ranks Nielsen number 30 out of 100 on their list of world's most innovative companies. Oh, it's innovative, all right. And they tout 95 years of innovation, and we couldn't have done it without you. Yeah, that's them sticking their dick in your ass one more time for a second. Yeah. And that's the end of it. It ends with the 2017. Yeah. Welcome to 2021. There's a little hole to fill in there. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 22 is right around the corner. Less than 90 days away. Yeah. Now, let me go back. Now that I've got another name, I want to pull up and take the off of Dutch Publishing Company. Riley, Daddy is very busy. I don't have time to love you. I have to love you from afar. Publishers Global, list of Dutch publishers. See, Dutch publishing giant cuts off researchers in Germany. What's this? Is this relative? Oh, Dutch Publishing Company. This is from July 2018, the 19th of July. Nature.com has this article up. Dutch Publishing Company giant cuts off researchers in Germany and Sweden. Elsevier last week stopped thousands of scientists in Germany from reading its recent journal articles as a row escalates over the cost of nationwide open access agreement. The move comes just 2 weeks after researchers in Sweden lost access to the most recent Elsevier research papers when negotiations on its contract broke down over the same issue. Negotiators on both sides in Germany now seem to be waiting for the other to blink, says Joseph Esposito, a publishing consultant in New York City. The highly public nature of the standoff means that any deal Elsevier does with them becomes the de facto deal for the entire world. Elsevier's move to cut off access to some German researchers also provides a test as to whether the scientists can survive without a subscription deal with the mega publisher, says Ralph Schimmer, this is relative, director of scientific information at the Max Planck Digital Library in Munich, Germany. If it comes to hardship and misery, then the negotiators might be forced back to the negotiating table, quote unquote. His organization provides journal access to the dozens of Max Planck Institutes and their libraries as its contract with Elsevier finishes at the end of this year. So now what that says to me is that takes away your freedom of information. You see, your freedom of information is, you have freedom for a little information. Apparently. Elsevier declined to comment on the move, which was reported by negotiators, some affected libraries, and Germany's National University Association. The Amsterdam-based company instead reiterated a 5th of July statement saying it was committed to reaching a deal with the German consortium Project Deal, which is brokering agreement on half of hundreds of Germany's universities and research organizations. Elsevier added that it is individually contacting the research centers whose contracts have expired to find out if they want access while negotiations continue. It publishes more than 2,500 journals, which issue in excess of 400,000 papers each year. Subscription shutdown. The standoff was sparked by talks between Elsevier and Project Deal, which is pushing to create a collective subscription agreement to replace the individual deals each institution has held with the publisher. This new type of deal would offset the cost of publishing under open access terms against the price paid for prescriptions to paywalled journals. Paywalled. Ooh, I'm going to have to research that. It's a new word for me, paywalled. P-A-Y-W-A-L-L-E-D. Yeah, paywalled. You have to understand the world of 50-cent words. When they throw a word out there like paywalled, that's a small, small tip to a very large iceberg. Like the word consideration. In legalese, in the land of legalese, the land of 50-cent words, the word consideration is money. It's the new word for extortion. Back in the old days, they made extortion illegal, but not consideration or kill fees. When I have an argument on you and I say, hey, I got proof this guy's an asshole, and I put a paper out, or I'm about to put a paper out, I have to offer a kill fee to him. Otherwise, I could be sued for slander. Yeah, to kill the article, to keep me from, it's extortion. You pay me 10 grand and I won't publish it. Doesn't mean I won't talk about it to my friends who may pick up the ball and run with it. Oh man, Zack's full of opportunities. Yes, I am. I'm a very smart fox. Yes, I am. You better come and shoot me because I'm going to make history. Yes, this new type of deal would offset the cost of publishing under open access terms against the price paid for prescription of paywalled journals. These read and publish contracts have become popular in recent years as governments in some European countries, and that's highlighted. So that takes me to a link of something. So it's all about rabbit holes. When you do an investigation, you got to do down every rabbit hole. Yeah, it's a nasty world. Welcome to Alice's Wonderland. Yes. Governments in some European countries have tried to make the fruits of publicly funded science open to all, but they are shutting it down. Academic library consortia in Austria, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, Sweden, and Finland have all struck read and publish deals with various publishers, including Wiley, Springer Nature, and Taylor and Francis, that cover varying parts of their portfolios. And then in parentheses, Nature's new team is editorially independent of its publisher, Springer Nature. End of parentheses. Last month, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology in Cambridge became the first U.S. institution to enter into one, covering journals published by the Royal Society of Chemistry, but some national consortia are now coming up against fierce resistance from Elsevier to such contracts. In May, talks collapsed between Elsevier and the Swedish The Ipsum Consortium, which brokered deals on behalf of 85 institutions across the country. Their existing contract expired in June, and some researchers in Sweden have now lost access to all Elsevier journal articles published after this date. Project Deal declared on 6th of July that it had suspended talks with Elsevier. Next section is tough compromise. Negotiators in Germany and Sweden want all their papers published in Elsevier journals to be open access as part of any new contracts. They have said that they will not pay more than they did previously for subscriptions. But until now, the Dutch publisher has offered other countries read and publish deals that cover only a small proportion of a country's publishing output. Apart from, in blue, it's a link, brief shutdown in early 2017, which affected about 70 German institutions, Elsevier has provided most uninterrupted access to German institutions whose contracts have expired while negotiations continue. Around 200 are thought to be affected by the latest switch-off, according to the consortium. The affected universities and research institutions can still source missing Elsevier articles through interlibrary loans from the 150 or so institutes whose contracts have not yet expired. The pressure on Elsevier to accept read and publish contract is increasing, says Bernhard Mittermeier, Bernhardmittermaier, head of the Central Library at the Jülich Research Center in Germany and a member of the Project Deal negotiating team. He sees the widespread shift to gold, open access, whereby journals make papers freely available once published, as inevitable. Quote, publishers would be well advised to take into their own hands and flip by themselves, he says. Quote, science in Germany will not break down, end quote. Esposito thinks that the German institutes have leverage over Elsevier because their researchers can access papers on the illicit sharing site Sci-Hub, but that does not necessarily mean that Elsevier will back down. Quote, the problem in finding resolution is that Germans insisted on conducting this negotiation in public, end quote, which could, he says, lead to a no-deal scenario as other countries may want the same. If the standoff continues without resolution, Elsevier will be closely monitoring journal article submissions from researchers based in Germany, Esposito predicts. Quote, if it drops sharply, Elsevier will likely reconsider its position, end quote. And that's the last of that article. Oh, yeah, but that's in Germany. Yeah, no, that's very serious. That's very serious. What that is censorship. Yeah, what that is extortion. That's extortion. Oh, man, this is a great day. I'm going to celebrate with a charoot. Yeah. Let's cut it in half, save the other half for later. Yeah, I'm going to save the other half for later. Yes, I'm a scientist. I'm a lot of things. Now, let's go back a page and see what else we can find. Let's research Elsevier because they're in bed with them. Yes, they're giving the reach around. Yeah, Elsevier NV Encyclopedia. Oh, wait, Dutch publishers. If you want to produce great books in Holland, you need a name to make that understood. Did you hear what I just said? If you want to produce great books on Holland, you need a name to make that you need to make that understood. Dutch Publishers stands out for its quality and creative concepts. Let's open that page. I want to see. Reflecting our vision of the Netherlands. You see, the Dutch mob is real. And I think they have a gang in Grand Rapids in West Michigan. I have lots of exposés in my book, Escaping the Despondent Sea. It's available on Amazon Kindle. Please check out Goodreads for the reviews. It's a true story. Obviously, it's exposés. I got cases against all kinds of people. very big cases that could get me killed. I'm going to mark this page and go back and play with it later. Yeah. Dutch publishers. Now let's go back. I want to research Elsevier. Yeah, they are very suspect. Let's go to encyclopedia.com and see what they were allowed to publish about Elsevier NV. It's Elsevier is Elsevier. Let me give you a screenshot for my little detectives out there. That's what we're looking at. There's their address and phone number. That's good. Public company. Incorporated in 1880 as Utgersmaschapage Elsevier. It's got 6,937 employees. Sales, 1.16 billion they're showing. In sales on paper, they're showing that. Stock exchanges, Amsterdam, Basel, Geneva, Zurich. Elsevier NV is the holding company for the second largest publishing group in the Netherlands. The group is an international leader in the field of scientific publishing, issuing about 900 new books each year and publishing over 1,000 journals. Oh man, I'm making new friends today. It also publishes journals and newsletters for healthcare professionals, the pharmaceutical industry, and business in general. Information sources on government, real estate, and nursing, as well as, in Dutch, numerous reference works, a variety of magazines, 2 national newspapers, and 3 local newspapers with subsidiaries in Europe, the United States, Japan, and South Korea, and main offices in Amsterdam. South Korea is the highest tax country in Europe. I happen to know my daughter Sarah Doyle, Sarah Tylock, yeah, my estranged 30-some-year-old daughter, she doesn't want nothing to do with her dad because I'm such a piece of shit. Yeah, because I wasn't in her life because her mom robbed her from me, wouldn't never let me see her because I wasn't making love to her. Yeah, so I have to pay that price. Yeah, my daughter hates me. Yeah, she said no matter how rich and famous I ever get or how fantastical a thing I do, she's always going to reject anything I have. Yeah, I got a big-ass paddling for her coming. And her husband if he doesn't support me. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, the main offices are in Amsterdam, London, New York, Tokyo, and Lausanne. Lausanne, Lausanne. The Elsevier Group is one of the most profitable publishing enterprises in the world. The key to its success has been its steady expansion into publishing in the English language, preying on stupid Americans. That's right, in which most scientific information first appears from its base in the Netherlands. Until 1979, the main company of the Elsevier Group was Uitgevermaatschappij Elsevier. I can't pronounce the word. I don't speak Dutch, nor do I want to. A company which had been set up in Rotterdam in 1880 by a group of 5 Dutch booksellers and publishers. I'd love to see what they were publishing back then. Led by Jacobus George Robbers. There's where the word robber comes in. They took the company name and imprint from the publishing house of the Elsevier family, which had flourished between the late 16th and early 18th centuries. After the company moved its headquarters to Amsterdam in 1887, its early success depended on publishing a literary journal. Dutch versions of the then popular novels of Jules Verne and the Winkler Prins Encyclopedia, which has since become the Dutch equivalent of the Britannica. Now keep in mind, this company is involved in publishing scientific data. Okay, the Dutch are the ones that capitalized on the tobacco industry in America. They're the ones that capitalized on slavery in America. Okay, they're the ones that share or refrain from sharing information. Yeah, all that information about tobacco, the important information like cancer and all that stuff, they might not have had a word for cancer, but they knew there was some backfires in that. Yes, they did. Yes, oh yeah, but everybody loves the Tulip Festival, don't you? The Tulip Festival is the Dutch saying, we're having a Tulip Festival, all right. Come and suck it. Elsevier's main subsidiary is Elsevier Science Publishers, and B.V. Elsevier first ventured into scientific publishing in the late 1930s, and then, after World War II, diversified its range, publishing trade journals and consumer magazines, but chiefly building up its reputation as a publisher of a number of scientific journals in English. So it really touted its stand behind science. Oh, who would question a scientist, beyond the things he's professing? Yeah, always keep you distracted from the puppet master by sharing what happens when bees eat, high fructose corn syrup so we could steal more honey. Yeah. For Elsevier, scientific has the wider meaning common on the continent of Europe of academic, okay? So, what we call, learning, yeah, scientific. Yeah, when you sit down and study English, you get scientific. Sentence structure, commas, it's scientific. Yeah. Oh, man, Medzek's the dictator here. I'm giving the dictation. Yes, we're going to bring back the word dictator. I think America needs one for a little while. Put everybody in their place. Yeah, Elsevier, scientific, has a wider meaning common of the continent of Europe of academic, rather than the narrower Anglo-American definition. Right there it is, folks. Oh, they're telling you we're fucking you. Thus, while the company is the world's leading publisher of the life sciences and issues journals covering the whole range of the natural sciences, it also publishes journals on on history, law, economics, and statistics, as well as engineering and technology. A measure of the company's prestige is that by 1990, its publications had included work by the winners of 62 Nobel Prizes, of which 29 were for physiology or medicine. More crucially, perhaps, its leading journals maintain the prestige by a rigorous process of peer review. Yeah, the peers. Peer review. In the case of brain research, for example, this means that half of the articles submitted are rejected and only 4% are published unaltered. Did you hear what I just said? The Elsevier merged with the newspaper group Nederlands Dagbladen NV early in 1979. The merger brought ownership of the national newspapers NRC Handelsblad and Algemeen Dagblad, which now have a combined circulation of nearly 650,000, 3 regional newspapers, and several local newspapers, including free advertisement-based papers. The enlarged group was reorganized under the newly founded holding company, Elsevier NV. Elsevier's strategy since 1980 has been to concentrate on the English language market, both by developing its existing output further and by acquiring new American subsidiaries, which have been organized into 2 groups. Don't forget about the Dutch masters. Yeah, see, the Dutch masters are behind it. The Dutch are behind destroying America and then throwing the black population. Yeah, the bad part of the black population. And the black population out there with a brain knows exactly what I'm talking about. So-called black. Yeah. Elsevier Information Systems Incorporation compromises 3 subsidiaries. The Congressional Information Service, CIS, based in Bethesda, Maryland, was Elsevier's first American acquisition in 1979. CIS issues information from American and international government sources and archive material on scholarly subjects on microfiche and microfilm. The Greenwood Publishing Group, based in Westport. Now let's back up to that microfiche and microfilm. You know how when you tell somebody a secret or you tell somebody a story, remember, you ever play the telephone game at school where you'll start with one person, you'll say, the frog is green in the pond. And then it'll tell the next person, and then by the end of the line, they'll ask the last person what was said, and they'll come up with something ridiculous that's not even close to what was to begin with. Okay, keep that in mind. Every time you move, for instance, every time you move, you lose something. Remember that? Every time you lose something. Well, every time you switch the media format, when it went from paper, well, they altered it. Just like the Bible, when they kept changing. Yeah, King James Version, he said, everybody write a Bible, bring me your version of the Bible, and I'll pick the one I like that I want to brainwash people with. Because people do need a brainwashing. They have dirty minds that do need to be cleansed. Yes, I will agree with that. Oh, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so by the time it gets down to digital access to where average American can hop on the internet, you're only getting this much of a story that was this big. Think about that. You're only getting a little bit of the information, what they allowed you to learn. Oh, it's called the glass ceiling. The Greenwood Publishing Group, is another name in my fucking boxing ring, based in Westport, Connecticut, specializes in reference works and books on the humanities, business, and law, and includes the Prager, Bergen, and Garvey and Auburn House imprints. Elsevier Realty Information, Inc., ERI, of Bethesda, Maryland, is an amalgamation of Reddy and Damar, two companies acquired in 1988. It distributes information on property to professional customers and publishes real estate maps of most major cities in the United States. Our country's being undermined. Yeah, we better get on the same page. Civil War, we're going to have another one, unfortunately. I can't wait. I'm going to build caskets. Yes, cheap, affordable caskets for the common man. And picnic baskets for the survivors. Yes, I'm going to be rich. Yeah, Elsevier Business Press Group consists of 4 subsidiaries. The Springhouse Corporation of Springhouse, Pennsylvania, where Nielsen's based, remember. Yeah, that's where this goes. This goes to Allentown, Pennsylvania. I used to live in Allentown. I know about Allentown. My stepfather's family lives in Allentown. The Musselman family. Yeah, you can go and kill them off now because they might know secrets too. No, you better come for me. Yeah. I'm going to get my media coverage. Acquired in 1988, publishes a range of journals, books, and videotapes for healthcare and educational professionals and small and medium-sized businesses. Delta Communications of Chicago specializes in magazines for various industries such as modern metals and packaging digest. Gordon Publishing's of Morris Plains, New Jersey, acquired in 1985, issues nearly 20 product news publications. Finally, the Excerpta Medica International Group, based in Princeton, New Jersey, as successor to the Excerpta Medica Company, acquired in 1971, publishes the highly successful Excerpta Medica Database, the EM-Base, which is an annual compilation of abstracts of more than 300,000 items of medical literature, as well as other publications on medicine. In 1985, Elsevier expanded into the flourishing business of educational courses and materials in the Netherlands and in Belgium through its subsidiary Elsevier Opleidingen, Elsevier Training Institutes. In other European operations, comprised the Pan-European Publishing Company, PPO, P-E-P-E-O, of Brussels, which issues product news tabloids in English. Messet Publishers, based in Doetinchem, which leads the Dutch market for trade journals. Bonaventura of Amsterdam, which publishes a weekly news magazine Elsevier, and many other periodicals. And Argus of Amsterdam, publisher of the Grootwinkler Prins Encyclopedia and other Dutch language reference books. Not all of Elsevier's attempts at expansion have been successful. The group began a long campaign to take over Kluwer, which was then the 3rd largest publisher in the Netherlands, in 1987. Kluwer, which had a similar range to Elsevier's but preferred to develop its Dutch market, resisted the attempt even when Elsevier lowered its sights to trying for 49% of its rivals' shares. In order to finance this operation, Elsevier itself had to issue new shares, which were bought mainly by the British media magnate Robert Maxwell, who ended up with a holding of 9% of Elsevier. The next step was a merger between Kluwer and its main shareholder, Wolters Samsom, to form Wolters Kluwer, which temporarily took Elsevier's place as the 2nd largest Dutch publisher. Eventually, Elsevier ended up with 28% of Wolters Kluwer. It sold these shares in 1990, yet announced that it had not abandoned the idea of an eventual merger with Wolters Kluwer. I don't need to continue reading this, but I do need to continue my investigation. Yes. Oh, yeah. So anyway, as you can see, it's very exciting. I'm on to something very big. Yeah. Share this video somewhere with somebody smart. Send this to Michikaku. Send this to some literature professors. Send this to scientists. Send this to somebody with money. I'm trying to get in hold of Matt McConaughey. They wanted to run for governor or some shit in Texas. He says it's a bag of rats, and it is a bag of rats. But man, Zach's got some poison cheese. I do. Yeah, it's American cheese. Everybody loves American cheese, except for me. I can't stand it. I hate American cheese. Yes, I do. And adulteration, pretty much of anything. Negative. So anyway, that's the end of my fun. Yeah, come and get me. I live in Lancaster, Ohio, and I'm very high profile. I run my mouth all the time. Yeah, I got it at birth, and I plan to use it for the rest of my life, however short or long that may be. Yeah, quite frankly, who wants to live to see? Who wants to live to be 100 years old and see more of this bullshit? Huh? Yeah, you're preparing your children for the future, while the world's setting them up for failure. I'm Mad Zack, crazy old Mad Zack, crazy like a fox. Mad scientist, mad, clearly. Yes. Gotta be out of my mind, trying to do something for a country. One guy with nothing on Social Security disability? Yeah. Yeah, with dime store shit. Yeah, basically. Thrift store. I'm a thrift store baby. Yeah. Peace, love, you know who cares? I'm out here daring. Yes, I'm Davy. Davy and Goliath. And I will kill Goliath. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to slice your gut open. Yeah, when you attack me, of course. I'm going to slice your gut open. I'm going to take a little piece of your intestine. Yeah, I'm going to tie it around my bike spokes. I'm going to start that thing up. And I'm going to rip all your guts out with the back tire of my motorcycle and leave you lay there to watch. Come see me. You will find something special.